Hello, yon intertubers, and welcome to yet another wild world of bootlegs. Today, I bring to you the second in our line of Dragon Beast heroes, the Mugenbine knockoffs that had fantastically amusing things printed all over them. Anyway, today we have our super evolutionary version. Today is, what's her name? Ah, yes, I believe this is Lazing Hero. There he is on the cover, and I believe he's holding the butt side of a trident as if it were a weapon, which it is not. Well done, Lazing Hero. Down here, we can see his vehicle mode, which is actually him riding a bird-shaped ski-doo. And that is terribly amusing for some reason. Down here we have his animal form, which is a bird mode, something like a sparrow or a hawk. And, well, I have to note that this wing here, while it looks perfectly normal, if you try and do it like it is in the picture, it will not work. There is no possible connection there. Good job, bootleggers. But more importantly, let's look at this fellow's slogan. The only point I like the robots is their melting points. Surely one of the more sensible things we've gotten from Dragon Beast Hero, I think. Though you've only seen two as of yet. There's more to come. Alright, same pictures. Let us look at his stats right here. Model. Camera. Focus. Oh, well, I'm going to read it anyway. Model 6686B. Height 12 to 13 meters. Identity, a member of Dragon Beastly. Weapons, laser, energy detector. Plugins? No. Cute looking, fierce Bravo shots. I think that's supposed to be allegiance? I'm just guessing. Comprehensive, that sounds German. Comprehensive evaluation. Empire intelligence experts. Fantastic. Deep research. The new concept of machine. Deformation? 3 kinds. Alright. Now, let us hear the introduction for Lazing Hero. Introduction. Dragon King. The animal handler bird form. The machine can speed of 500 kilometers per hour to fly 3,500 kilometers continuously. The emit laser beam can break down 5 centimeters thick plate away from 50 kilometers. Use the storage device, can be very secretive blaster condition. Record the enemy movements. Will release information synthesis. Blaster lack of courage. Cannot run a risk. So the single shot with simple way can be the threats of him. The laser energy limited. He once exhausted energy, blaster will become a bowstring. You know, I have to say, after reading this about 5 times practicing, it almost makes sense. Alright, anyway, shall we see the Lazing Hero in all his wonder? Yes, there we are. It's just another Mugenbine like from before. From the same lineups. We have the same Mugenoid body. Each head tends to vary a little on the side markings here, putting a letter or some such symbol on the side of their head to signify who they are. Let's see. In this case, what this was originally known as Mugenbine is Uzamakidori, which I think means spiraling bird or something along that line. Yay! Bit of a brain fart there. Let us transform this guy into his bird mode. So we'll start by rolling him up into a cube, which you probably could have seen coming if you've ever seen any Mugenbine related stuff before. And if you haven't, then you haven't watched my last video, and I hate you, and I hope you fall off a cliff. No, seriously. Ah, bird head on the floor. Yes, there's the first bind part, bird head, which will go right derp-dee-doo, right back here. Yeah, like that. Then we've got bird tail, which is going to go right back here on the back. Go figure. Alright, we got one wing. Goes here, like so. Doesn't actually peg into the back one here. There's just slides a peg. Pretends. Yeah. And we take this part here, which is surprisingly confusing to find a proper place for, especially when the card back lies to you. But there we have a wing. And the second wing goes on the same way, of course. Oh, and then you throw it on the floor, because I have no respect for any of my things. Oh, right, and there we have a delightful bird, which has a little flip-out crest here, so he can look fantastic when he goes to the party and the other birds see him and it's like, have you seen his fold-down crest? That is fantastic. I want one of those myself. I wish I had a beautiful fold-down crest in real life. Anyway, while we're not lamenting bird problems, I think we will go on to his Ski-Doo mode. I must admit that the jet ski mode of this fellow, Uzamakidori, is not terribly well designed. On something that has universal ports all over it, it should hold together when you are done. But this does not. Not even a little bit. Alright. And I don't really feel that it is the bootlegger's fault. In this case, anyway. There's plenty of other things that are the bootlegger's fault, such as crimes against humanity, but whatever. We start with the bird head here, which we're going to flip face down. Unlike you see here, where the bird head is face up. Again, yet another thing that you just cannot do. These parts don't even exist. I don't even know why they drew those on. What's wrong with you guys? Alright, we're going to take the bird tail over here. It's going to become the next part. Okay, set that down for a second. Then we're going to grab these two, and you will see that there are boosters on the back of these. And you're going to want to get them both facing on the outside. Alright, then you're going to take the robot arm things over here. And we're going to put them on the outside like that. One over here. Hit one over here. Okay, and then we're going to take the rest of this. And, no, not like that. Yes, down here. We will peg this here. And this one over here. Da-da-da, we're almost done. And then we take this part, which I forgot to incorporate into the bird mode, but it just hides on the bottom, so you won't miss it. And there we have his jet ski, which looks kind of okay, yeah? Except for one problem. You see back here? You see this wobbly mess that is not connected together at all? That's where he's expected to stand. Why? You have pegs in your feet. Or holes. Whichever one you want. And there are no peg holes here. Just this. You see these? There's one on each side of these open half indent nonsense that you're supposed to plug two holes into that aren't even the same shape. You just kind of have to set them down and, I don't know, bend his knees just a tad and get them resting in there, and then you have to try and get his hands to hold on to that, and it just doesn't want to happen. That's about the best you're going to get out of it. You can actually get his fists here to fit into these tiny little indents, but I'm not even going to try, because Honestly, I'm not going to get much better than this. The thing doesn't hold together at all. If you try and move him, he's going to fall off. And then the dog will show up, and everything's ruined. Everything! Blazing Hero, this is your fault. If you were just licensed properly and made by whoever made Mugenbine, then none of this would have happened. Is it Takara? Ah, who cares? Oh, right, and lastly, we know what comes next. We're going to look at Blazing Hero's upgraded form. Which goes like most of these do when you stack all the parts on them. So we'll start by just putting his head down, pulling each of these forward. We'll take the bird head here. There's a little pull-out fiddly thing there that we're using for this mode. Actually, that's not true. I'm not even sure what that's for. I'm sure it's for something I don't know about. Mugenbine are hard to find out about, to be honest. Trying to find what is supposed to combine with what is really difficult and not very well documented in English. We're going to take each of these parts and put them on the bottom with the shiny bit on the outside where you can see it and go, oh, it's so shiny. And we're going to take these parts that look like robot arms and they're going to become robot arms. Who would have guessed? Right, on either side, so we have very much a robot with no head. Then we are going to take the bird tail over here, and as so many robots do, the head is hidden in their ass. We're just going to go and peg this peg into that back, like so, and ta-da! Like nobody's business, we have a big tall robot here. Yay. Last we are left with his silly weapon that honestly looks like it should belong to a beetle, not a bird, but here we are. I bet you could make a beetle with that. I mean, the more parts you have, the more you can make, right? Oh, and there we are. Mugenbine, Uzamakidori, bootlegged by some company called Jing, which honestly sounds made up. Yes, there we are. I hope you have enjoyed this video because I certainly have enjoyed filming it. Don't fall over. I'm watching you. YouTube viewers. I'm watching all of you.